You may have been hearing the commercials on KFI. We have a chance to talk about it in more depth. The commercials deal with the LA County Sheriff's Department and the LA County Board of Supervisors. And we're going to talk about this. Well, they're trying to put on the ballot, and we're talking about November 2020, something that they claim is long overdue. And it's funding for the underserved communities. But apparently that money would come out of the LA County Sheriff's Department's budget, and that's what's troubling.
This is from two of the kooks on the board, Sheila Kuehl and Hilda Solis. And it is so bad an idea that even the Los Angeles Times editorial board, who convenes in a mental institution each day before they write their editorials, they actually, in a headline, called the proposal irresponsible.
It is a charter amendment, how it's explained here, and it's going to permanently designate minimum funding levels for social service programs.
And they're going to cut the sheriff's department, among other things, and that could lead to a loss of 1,000 sheriff's deputies. 1,000.
So the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, ALADS, the collective bargaining agent that represents more than 8,000 deputy sheriffs and district attorney investigators working in L.A. County, have taken out these ads, and we're now going to talk to Ronald Hernandez, who is the president, and he also happens to be a deputy.
And we also have Michele Hanisee, president of the Association of L.A. County Deputy District Attorneys. We have two presidents here. Ron, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Michele, thank you for coming on again with us.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
Ron, explain what this would do to the Sheriff's Department.
Well, so we've already taken, in the budget cuts, we've already taken millions of dollars worth of cuts because of the pandemic and the crisis. So there's really no getting around that. But then to come out with another ballot measure that's going to, take another hundreds of millions of dollars and affect possibly being able to hire or retain thousands of deputies. I mean, that's just going to make the communities unsafe, obviously. We don't have people fulfill the positions through attrition and everything else. But on top of the budget cuts, this is just ridiculous. And then the way the measure's crafted is basically it says it's going to earmark 10% of the net county cost. And it actually is going to say that it's forbidden to use that money. So they're trying to guess what's going to happen in the future, and they're going to tie the hands of anybody in the future who's on the board of supervisors.
And
that's
Michele,
what really makes it ridiculous.
And Michele, I mean, they're framing this. Obviously, the campaign against this is saying that this is going to make neighborhoods less safe. Explain to people your perspective.
Well, this doesn't just cut, as you mentioned, budget to the sheriff department, but also it specifically singles out the district attorney's office and the probation office. And what they're doing, as Ron said, they're handcuffing themselves in their own budget. Not only did the LA Times criticize this as a very bad financial move, the CEO who manages the county budget said it was a bad idea. She said it would result in layoffs, and she means across-the-board layoffs to all departments, and that means a reduction in public services across the board.
And this is apart from the revenue problems they're having because of the virus. This would be a permanent cut that would affect everything in the budget forever.
Exactly.
Well, that's correct, and it's an absolute cop-out for the supervisors to say they're doing this so the voters can decide, because the voters have no idea what other expenses have to be covered by the county budget that's already suffering from billions of dollars in lost revenue.
Ron, you were going to say something.
Yeah, so and here's the crazy part. The crazy part is the Board of Supervisors, they already have the authority to affect financial resources for the community. If any community-based program, they already have the authority to do that. So rushing this in, to me, is a knee-jerk, pandering reaction to today's political climate. They want to show the voters that, look, this is what we want to do, and we're gonna allow you guys to do this. They could do it already. They don't need to pander. The problem is they haven't thought this through. We've asked questions. They don't even know how this is going to roll out. They don't even know all the details. What we do know is that we have tried to communicate with them on stuff like this and other stuff, And unfortunately, we have had little to no response to talk about things specifically like this.
I haven't sensed that the public wants 1,000 less deputies or major cuts in the district attorney's office. I mean, we know what activists in the street want, but all the polling I've seen nationally says people want police protection and they want a justice system that operates normally.
Agreed. I don't think
they
want
also want.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Ron.
Michelle. Go ahead. Okay. I don't think they want less law enforcement on the street. They want programs that will help the communities, which I totally agree with. Law enforcement agrees with. Michelle's office agrees with. We all agree with that. That's what they want. The fact of the matter is they have the authority and ability to do that already.
And Michelle?
And to add to what Ron said, I don't think there's any way they can accomplish this and do what they want to do without reducing public services across the board. So if you're waiting for that construction permit or you need to go check something on your property taxes, there's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 less employees in every department and make your waits longer for every county service.
Often when there's a bad idea, an idea that should be unpopular, it gets sold with a big lie. Is there going to be a big lie that the supervisors are going to tell to try to get this thing passed with the voters? Is there something that the voters would be susceptible to and they'll get fooled?
You know, on behalf of law enforcement, the only thing I could see that could possibly see what the big lie would be is if they would say it's not going to affect the amount of deputies that we have on the streets. It's totally going to affect that. And the other part of the big lie would be is that this is just for, putting stuff out in the community. I'll say it again. They can already do that. And if they try to tell people that cutting 10% of the net cost is not going to affect law enforcement or the courts or probation or any other organization out there that provides services for the county, then that would be the big lie. But quite frankly, we don't really know if there's going to be a big lie because this is so quickly thrown together and done. We don't know all the details of how this is even going to roll out.
So what do you want people to do? You want the listeners to contact the Board of Supervisors?
Yes. I would encourage people to contact the Board of Supervisors and just let them know that they need to slow down. Don't do these hasty things without a plan. They need to slow down, think it through. And if this is something they choose to do in the future, that's fine. After they've dotted all their I's and crossed their T's and they've figured it all out. But right now, it just appears to be pandering to a voice that they think is the most vocal. And the reality is, I think you guys and I know that there's a voice out there that's not being heard, and those people are upset about resources possibly being cut in the future.
All right, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah. Michelle, we thank you both for coming on.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's Ron Hernandez with ALADS, which is the union for the deputy sheriffs. And also that is Michele Hanisee with the LA County Deputy District Attorneys Association. She's the president, and Ron is the president of the union. And they're asking you to call Hilda Solis's office, 213-974-4111. 213-974-4111 to protest the proposition. Apparently Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors is going to move forward to putting it on the November ballot. And you know it'll be deceptive the way it's worded.
Absolutely, because all they do is lie when they want to get something stupid passed.